guys! We have been hearing for a long time that the Oscars are getting boring, biased, and too political. And honestly, I've been defending the Oscars all along. We might disagree with the ceremony and how they choose the winners, but we cannot deny the obvious. It is still the main film awards ceremony in the world. It has great value as a career impact, increases public visibility, helps directors and writers gain more funding opportunities, and overall, there are about 10,000 members of the Academy, so it must feel good to be chosen as a winner by your colleagues. But this year, I don't feel like defending the Oscars because I feel disappointed by the ceremony.
Because God gave me this Dundee.
Not that people would care about my opinion, but I still have a few complaints and I need to get them off my chest. My biggest disappointment started when I saw the Oscar nominations for the first time. The sheer fact that the No Other Choice by Park Chan-wook was not in the list infuriates me. By the way, his previous movie Decision to Live was also snubbed in the nominations. But let's talk about No Other Choice. There were a lot of great movies this year, that's for sure.
For sure.
And I understand it was kind of difficult to choose the nominees for Best Picture. But F1 in the list and not No Other Choice? Seriously? I mean, F1 is a good movie. It is like an amusement park, but it simply does not have the deep meaning that No Other Choice has. AI taking over jobs and people being left alone without money or support has been one of the biggest questions of the last 2 years, especially with AI getting better and better and all these Chinese robots dancing everywhere online. I love the social commentary that Park Chan-wook made, not just about South Korea society, but about everyone in the world. And he did it with such subtle humor and wit. The film explores difficult questions like, what is a person worth in a capitalistic society? How far will people go to survive? What happens when masculine identity is tied to a career success? What future awaits us if AI threatens jobs?
당신 분자 잡지 끊고 넷플릭스도 끊고.
People at the Oscars might not be interested in these questions, but people outside Hollywood are struggling to find jobs and afford life and medical bills. And Park Chan-wook, one of the best directors of our time, as always did an amazing job directing this movie. Some of my favorite Korean actors are doing an incredible job portraying people in despair. What does F1 explore? Can a 60-year-old Brad Pitt really beat his younger teammate? Still, F1 is a nicely made movie, but it is simply not at the same level as No Other Choice. I do understand that the Oscars are not Cannes or the Venice Film Festival. They have their own criteria, and being a big hit helps a movie get nominated. But the fact that No Other Choice was not even nominated in the foreign film category is beyond my understanding. Let's talk about the ceremony. I love Conan O'Brien. He is one of my favorite comedians ever, but the whole opening felt like a cold shower. I feel like the audience did not laugh much at all, even though there were some good jokes.
Yeah, I'm told there's concerns about attacks from both the opera and ballet communities.
Next, one thing I hate is when they interrupt speeches. This ceremony happens only once a year. Considering how competitive this industry is and how difficult it is to be nominated, let alone win the prize, people should have the opportunity to finish their speeches. For many of them, it might be a once-in-lifetime moment. I believe they are all adult and responsible people. They will not take 30 minutes talking about their families, and if they do, then it's fine to cut them off with music. But cutting them off after 1 minute? What they did to the K-pop Demon Hunters team after winning Best Music felt really disrespectful. I understand the ceremony is long with a red carpet and everything, but the whole point of the ceremony is people receiving their awards and giving speeches. If the production team is worried about the time management, maybe they should shorten some of the painfully long comedy beats and sketches. 10 minutes for Bridesmaids was just too long. 5 minutes would be enough. And again, For me, they're all Oscar winners. Giving someone more time to finish their speech while cutting others off feels very upsetting. About the winners. For Best Picture, I think the win was well deserved. I gotta say though, my personal favorite was Hamnet, just because it felt really cathartic and I love that it was about life, death, acceptance, and art all at once. It was also about the connection that art brings to us, the very same reason why we love watching movies and the Oscar ceremony. It does not matter where the art was created or how. 400 years ago in England or last year in Iran, we can still feel empathy for people we have never met and understand their pain.
Bye.
Why?
Bye.
But I understand why One Battle After Another won the Oscar, and I'm happy for the team. I actually made a video about One Battle After Another with a full analysis of the movie, so you can check it out on my channel. Paul Thomas Anderson winning the Oscar was great news. I've always been rooting for him, and I'm glad he finally won. I mean, his 14th nomination, and he finally got it. For Best Actress, I knew Jessie Buckley would win. It was simply the best performance of the year. I don't think the others really stood a chance. She stole our heart with her role as Agnes. For Best Supporting Actor, I had a feeling Sean Penn would win, even though looking at other awards like the SAG Awards, Critics' Choice Award, and the Golden Globes, the result looked unpredictable. But I was a bit disappointed. Not because Sean Penn doesn't deserve the award. He absolutely does. With that work alone, he had a strong chance. But when I saw that he did not come to the Oscars and Stellan Skarsgård did, and then I remembered that Sean Penn already has 3 Oscars while Stellan has none, I couldn't help but feel a bit upset. Of course, it should not be just about who already has Oscars and who doesn't, but Stellan Skarsgård's performance in Sentimental Value was outstanding. There were many close-up shots, and the way he portrayed an absentee father, his doubt and regret, just with his eyes, was incredible. I think he equally deserved the Oscar. For adapted and original screenplay, I have no complaints. Both scripts were great. I'm happy for Sentimental Value winning Best International Feature Film. For Best Cinematography, Sinners got the award, but my favorite was Train Dreams because they worked a lot with natural lighting and it was such a beautifully shot movie. For Best Sound, no debate, F1 absolutely deserved it. As I said before, watching it felt like being in an amusement park. I'm also fine with the other wins like Best Costume Design, Documentary Film, an Animated Short Film. It was a nice surprise to see that 2 movies shared the same award for Best Live Action Short Film.
Ironic that the short film Oscar is going to take twice as long.
For Best Animated Film, I thought Zootopia would win, but I guess the Netflix hit K-pop Demon Hunters made a huge impact. I like the music from the movie and the animation itself was very good. I haven't watched Weapons yet, so I cannot say much about Best Supporting Actress, but I am happy for the actress and for the horror genre getting recognition. It has always been difficult for horror movies at the Oscars.
And the Oscar goes to Amy Madigan.
Best Actor. My personal favorite was Ethan Hawke.
They should put my picture on that bottle. The whiskey that made Loren's heart unemployable.
It is incredibly difficult to carry a movie where everything happens in one room and you have to memorize huge amount of text, and he nailed it. When I watched the film, I didn't see Ethan Hawke, I saw Loren's heart. But I had a feeling he would not win. I honestly thought it would be a battle between Leonardo DiCaprio and Timothée Chalamet, but Michael B. Jordan and Michael A. Jordan surprised everyone with the win. Some people say Timothée didn't get the Oscar because of the scandal about theater and opera, but I don't think that's the case. I should mention that the interview aired on February 24th, and the voting took place, if I'm not mistaken, from February 26th to March 5th. Still, I really hope that was not the reason because everyone has the right to their opinion. It might be an opinion that angers people or sounds arrogant, but it has nothing to do with the acting ability.
That's what she said.
I don't like people getting cancelled over words. Actions are different, especially if there is violence involved, but words, people change their opinions all the time.
I am running away from my responsibilities. That feels good.
Despite the fact that I don't go to ballet or opera very often, maybe once or twice a year, and I do go quite often to see theater performances and movies in the cinema, I did not agree with Timothy on that topic. I disagreed with him, but I still think his performance was solid. I dislike his character in Martyr Supreme, but boy, he was charismatic. As for Michael B. Jordan, I like him. I watch Sinners and I appreciate that he played two different characters. For example, I was surprised to notice that Stack had dimples and Smoke didn't. But personally, I would still choose Ethan Hawke. Of course, that's just my subjective opinion. I mean, the Oscars and all the other movie awards are all about subjective opinion, aren't they? That's it, guys. Let me know how you like this year's Oscars and what you think about the winners. Thank you for watching this channel. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Goodbye.